7:41 at KPEL. Welcome back to Acadiana's Morning News. Joining us in studio, as she does every Monday morning at 7:40, Jackie Russo. Good morning.
Hola.
Hola. Are we still in Chewy's mode?
¿Cómo está?
¿Cómo está?
It's Cinco de Mayo this week.
Taco or nachos in a trunk.
You know, I took Spanish for many, many years, and I know how to say cerveza
Yes.
and el baño.
Yes.
That's all you need.
That's what
truly,
I think.
With a beer
Years
and a
ago,
bathroom, there are many places I'd like to go. That's all I want on the
The
beach.
very first cruise I ever went on, that's all I needed to know.
Yes.
Where can I get my beer for $1 and where's the bathroom?
That really can get you far in
brilliant.
life. Yes.
It can.
Yes.
So a couple of weeks ago, I asked you about Bodie McBoatface, which was a ship. I wanted several $1 million, like
$300 million.
$300 million.
Yes.
Okay, several $300 million Arctic research ship in the UK. They decided, let's let the internet name our boat. So let's have an online contest. You could submit, you could vote. They had like thousands of suggestions of different world leaders and different meaningful names. Okay,
Right.
but what was suggested and what won by a landslide was Bodie McBoatface.
Yes.
So now we have this ship, $300 million of public money to fund something called Bodie McBoatface.
Right, right. And there was a petition here started over the Youngsville High School to name it Schoolie McSchoolface. So we can't even have original crowdsourcing. We have rip-off crowdsourcing.
So now back to tell us about the dangers of crowdsourcing and why it's not always the best idea. Yes, it might get your base engaged, but let me just put it to you this way: the person who suggested Bodie McBoatface, I guarantee you he's not an Arctic researcher.
Probably
so
not.
That's not the base anyway.
Probably not.
So what's our problem with this?
What happens is, there's this push for crowdsourcing, I think, because people feel like we'll engage the community and they'll feel more connected and attached and whatever. Well, they forget that the community, first of all, is sitting behind a computer, anonymous and sarcastic and sometimes angry at the world.
Yeah.
And it comes through in their suggestions. And you have situations where people go online to hire professionals through crowdsourcing and get professional logos for $5 or things like that, and you end up with really bad ideas or bad designs. I can't tell you the number of people that come to us because they've spent money crowdsourcing a logo to find out that the logo they bought was not trademarkable because it was a ripoff of somebody else's. It wasn't original artwork or custom. That it was in use somewhere.
Yeah.
That it was a really bad idea.
Yeah.
That it was some sort of negative subliminal messaging within it. So you end up with some challenges when you go crowdsource. And I think we look at the Henry Ford quote that if I'd asked customers what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse. Sort of pertains to crowdsourcing.
Yeah.
So Ford was ahead of his time even with that because customers don't always know what they want or they can be sarcastic jerks. And so you really have to make sure that you're using professionals when you need a professional opinion.
And I think, as a business too, why not just put out something? You can make such a bigger deal if you say, maybe you have professionals who can identify what your base wants without asking them.
Right.
They could just say, what are they into? Oh, they're going to this part of town, not this part of the town. They make this much money, not this much. Here's what they do for a living. There are people that do that without saying, going on my business Facebook page and saying, hey guys, what do you want Bernie and I to talk about today?
Right.
Right.
Notice we've never done that.
No.
That's on purpose.
Yes, because you're wise professionals. You've not been sucked into the crowdsourcing trap.
Yeah, exactly. You should just kind of know. The bottom line, it comes to just knowing the base yourself, don't you think?
It absolutely does. But what I do find, a lot of business owners or professionals in their industry are so insular into their industry, they can't always step outside to see what the community wants and thinks. That's why you hire experts to provide a valid opinion. I would tell you the Zephyrs are doing it right. I've never been particularly fond of the Zephyrs.
Yes.
I didn't get it. And so they have, after so many years, finally realized that most people kind of feel that way. And so they've said to the community, hey, it's time to find a name that's really connected to New Orleans. I'm hoping somebody comes up with jazz personally because I'm still missing basketball.
Yeah.
But what they've done is they've hired a professional company to manage it and to wade through all of the ideas, choose the best ones, and then put those up to the public vote.
So basically when the Zephyrs, that's where I grew up. And so I personally love the Zephyrs because I have a little bit of anxiety about parking. And you could park there always. Because there's always space. But, the Zephyrs, that all came from the Pontchartrain Beach roller coaster that was called the Mega Zephyr.
Right.
that means something to like my grandparents' generation.
Right.
My mom was even too young to really experience Pontchartrain Beach like it was. So it just didn't translate. That was also the name of the roller coaster at Jazzland.
Right.
It just didn't. And so hopefully they could get a good name. Like, see, personally, I love the Pelicans.
Right.
I think their mascot, like the in-person mascot, is ugly. And
Yeah.
they, he used to have the big beak. They changed his beak, so he has this little like LaToya Jackson beak now. It's flat and ultra molded on
Right.
his face. I liked the big beak. It's a pelican.
Like Cayenne, the UL guy. Everybody hated his costume, but he got national attention all the time. Every mascot list, most interesting or dominant or memorable was Cayenne.
Yeah.
And so, you got to have a good mascot that stands out. And if you've got a shortened beak, it could be scary.
So basically, here's the gist of it. Guided crowdsourcing will work.
Yes.
Don't just pose the question on Facebook.
No.
Or start this free form. Submit your idea. You just have to have that extra layer of actually going through these ideas so we don't have Bodie McBoatface.
Right. Or Schoolie McSchoolface.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's important when it comes to crowdsourcing to separate that from audience insight.
Yeah.
Those are two very different things. Crowdsourcing, you're putting the question up to everybody and you're crossing your fingers and hoping what comes back is worthwhile. Most often it's not. With, true professional consumer insight, you're really getting information that's going to help you grow and realize your customer doesn't want a faster horse, they want a car.
So we'll move on. You kind of brought up the Cajuns, or Cayenne, but to talk about the Cajuns this weekend, a really good weekend on the road at UT Arlington.
Well, I would say when you can, take 2 out of 3 and you put up 19 runs on your Sunday game and mercy rule them, that's a pretty good day.
I think so too. We had the big delay, postponed on Friday.
Right.
Played 6 hours of baseball on Saturday and then the one on Sunday. Coming up this week, Appalachian State. The Cajuns back home. The 6th, 7th, and 8th, I believe that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this week.
Correct.
Again.
Well, and softball tied up the conference championship on the road. I am amazed by that team every year. The fact that they've won the conference championship 14 out of 16 years, that's impressive.
Says a lot.
It does.
Jackie Russo, thanks for waking up early with us.
Thank you.
Every Monday morning. Jackie Russo, you could get this segment later on, KPEL 965.